I am WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, and you are watching CM Pulse.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, it's that PULS3 coming at you guys with some WWE 2K16 news now. I was out here recently at a press event for the game, and I got to play a build of the game. It's an early build, but it was still really good. So basically what they had singles matches, tag team matches, of course those were exhibition, and they had a little bit of 2K Showcase, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it showed off a little bit like him versus Jake the Snake Roberts in King of the Ring and stuff like that, and everything honestly looked really good. The graphics were incredible for the superstars and like the ref, you know. But one of the things that I think was kind of off about this was that the crowd looked kind of, you know, like the crowd's getting better. It's better than ever. But it still leaves a lot to be desired. Like, there's lots of new models in the crowd. The crowd's a lot more, they stick out a lot more. But it's still not where you think it should be, you know. Compared to the superstars and everything, the crowd still looks kind of iffy. But the graphics for the superstars were incredible. We were actually told that this build that we were playing wasn't even like the maximum graphics. Like he was just hoping that it would look good, so people think, you know, it looks good on this build they were playing there, so you know it was passable. He actually says it's way better on the build that they're going to be releasing and the one they have at the studio. So I'm super happy to hear that. But here's the roster that we got to play as. We got to play as Bad News Barrett, Brock Lesnar, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, Kalisto, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Sin Cara, Titus O'Neil, and Tyson Kidd. Now, I'm pretty sure I played with almost all these characters. I think the only character I didn't get hands-on experience with was Bad News Barrett, because we just had a lot of stuff going on, and he was just one of the characters that I actually didn't end up getting to use. But here's some information for you guys that you guys might want to hear about. So, entrances, they don't start right away anymore. When it comes from the loading screen, it doesn't start right away. There's a nice pan of the crowd, and then the music hits. So it's more like real life. It's a little more organic than just, you know, bam, music hits, you're done. You know, you come down the ramp. It's pans and it comes in. So it's like when you come back from commercial on a Monday Night Raw episode. It's really cool. There are cuts between the entrances to kind of hide the loading screen. They cut to the crowd, or they cut to the commentary, and it shows them sitting there at the commentary booth, or it shows the crowd and stuff like that. Kind of like that old Tony Hawk game, you know. I can't remember exactly what Tony Hawk game it was, but they used like a bus to hide the loading screens. I'm not sure why they didn't do this earlier, but I'm really happy to see that they finally did do it. Because, you know, cutting to the crowd and cutting the commentary is pretty obvious ways to hide a loading screen. So I think that's really, really cool. That we ended up playing through most of the entrances. You know, we wanted to see all of them, so we got to see a good amount of that, and it looked really good. Now, one of the new features in the game is breaking into entrances. You know, like break in button, the X to break in or something like that. At the top left, you'll usually see it. Now, breaking into entrances can be done at the ramp, or by ringside, or you can rush the ramp. You can break in pretty much in all entrances, in exhibition at least. That's what we played. Now, the top of the ramp, if you break into the top of the ramp, it's massive. It's completely different than last year or really any of the years. The top of the ramp that we got to play on this build you could probably fit almost the entire roster on the ramp. So when I say that this ramp, the top of this ramp is massive, I absolutely mean it. I mean, it is huge. You can fight a lot up there. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, another thing, if a superstar has an entrance attire, like Cesaro, for example, Cesaro comes out, you know, he's got the headphones, he's got the towel. You can break in and attack Cesaro, but he's going to keep his beats and his towel on. He's going to keep all of that on during the break-in fight until you get into the ring. When you get into the ring, it cuts to the crowd, and then the stuff disappears. Another example with this, I was watching Cesaro versus Titus O'Neil. Cesaro broke in on Titus O'Neil's entrance. He was wearing the tag team belt. Now, when he broke in Titus O'Neil's entrance, Titus still had the tag team belt on, and when Cesaro hit him, the belt fell off. So they're kind of interactive in that way, but not too interactive, as sadly, the second the ref got in the ring to call the match, the tag team belt disappeared. It didn't stay in the ring. Now, if you don't get in the ring during a break-in, when you do the break-in in the entrances, if you don't get into the ring within a certain amount of time after a break-in, the match will end in a no contest. So you have to make sure you if you break in an entrance, you have to bring it to the ring and get the guy to the ring. Now, some stuff that I noticed individually for wrestlers was Kevin Owens does have the package pile driver as his secondary finish, which is awesome. He also has the package power bomb which I guess is what, he does in the WWE. I just made that name up. I don't know if it's actually called that, but where he does the side slam package ordeal. Also, Finn Balor has 2 Bloody Sundays. He has a secondary finish Bloody Sunday and a variant of the Bloody Sunday as his signature. He also has a comeback, which is 2 clotheslines and the sling blade, so that looked really cool. I was surprised to see that Balor had that comeback, but it looked really good. Personally, people use that against me a lot. Also, I feel like regular Balor's entrance is better than his demon entrance. I think the entire regular character honestly just looks a lot better than the demon character, and I kind of love that they give people the option to choose. Even some people might like the demon entrance better. They might like the demon character better. Some people might like that regular Balor. The fact that they even gave you an option, they could have just put regular Balor, and I think most people would have been okay, but they give you the option. I thought that was really cool. So one of the things that's really changed also is the pin. The mini game doesn't activate right away, depending on the different damage done to your character. I noticed that as the match went on longer, it took longer for the mini game to activate. So if someone tried to pin you while you were in red, what would happen? The mini game would pop up, but you couldn't go for it. It wouldn't activate. The mini game would be there, but it wouldn't activate on the 1 count, and then the 2 count would come up, and then you could start the mini game. Now that threw me off. I had no idea that was happening, but I think it's going to be a good addition to the gameplay. And one thing also I noticed that it's a lot harder to hit it. It's a lot harder to kick out of stuff this time around. It actually just kind of goes for you, like the meter goes for you. You don't have to hold it down or anything. You just let the meter go, and you have to try to land it inside the thing. And like I said, it also completely doesn't come up sometimes on the 1 count. Sometimes not even the 2 count, and it'll come up only on the 3 count. So that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. The submission system was pretty okay. The thing is with that, though, we didn't get much of that because most of the people that were there, we ended up just not doing submissions on each other, So that was something we didn't get to test too much because most people were playing by gentleman rules, which, have been for the gentleman rules for the game for so and so amount of years have been, don't use submissions, don't submit people, and people kind of follow that, which is really cool because that's how I like to play. I like to play no submissions because I feel like it's kind of cheap. Hopefully, once we get the game, we can see if the submission system can actually be used in a skillful way instead of a crapshoot and hope for the best, So we'll see about that. But we also got a little of the 2K showcase, which was Steve Austin, and it showed off a little bit. I remember one of the matches was against Jake the Snake Roberts, where he had to critically damage Jake, and he was already hurt, and it was the King of the Ring. It was basically that whole thing, and it's kind of really in depth. I think at one point it even had Steve Austin doing like the crappy version of the stunner because he wasn't good at it yet. So they really went in 2K showcase and really showed it off, and everything kind of came together. I was honestly surprised at. When I went into it, I kind of thought it was going to be more so like 2K15, like it was going to be pretty much, the same game with better graphics. That's pretty much what I was expecting. But once you sit in and load in, yeah, the graphics are way better on 2K16 than they are on 2K15. That's the first thing you'll probably notice when you load in a game, is that these graphics on these superstars and just the central characters in general are really, really good. That's the first thing you're going to notice. But the gameplay feels different with the stocks, the reversal stocks, where you have to go in and you have like so and so amount of stocks that you can reverse, and it changes the pace of the match completely because you can blow all your stocks at the beginning and then just get your ass kicked for 20 minutes or however long the match is. Like it can take a while for those stocks to come back, but if you can, the thing is, people I think were worried about the stocks being like I said, you do get beat up for a good amount of time. But the thing is with that is if you can learn how to just keep it together and not spam them out, you can pretty much keep a reversal throughout the entire match. You don't want to reverse a kick on the ground. You don't want to reverse like a regular leg non-breaking point submission, or I'm not even sure what it's called anymore. I'm not sure if it's labeled breaking point, but you know what I'm saying. You don't want to reverse little baby moves like that. What you want to do is you want to take these reversals. You might even want to do one of the major reversals that takes 2 stocks. You can reverse these moves in the middle of moves and change it to something else. So you might, you kind of have to just think about it. So it's a lot more of a thinking game. And I think that's what they are going for, the simulation style, just a lot more thinking and a lot more stuff like that. Now, my favorite character to play as while we were playing this was definitely Kevin Owens. He was incredible to play as. I think the most that people played was Kevin Owens and Finn Balor. Those are the 2 that most people played as. I was surprised that no one really picked Daniel Bryan at all. Titus O'Neil's character is fun because he literally is just like real life Titus. He just throws people around. The aura. I think it's really cool too. Cesaro is fun. Tyson Kidd was fun too. They're all pretty fun in their own way, but I think the most played characters were Finn Balor and Kevin Owens by far, and I think that goes to show you, like, that's probably going to be the two most popular characters when the game actually releases. So if you're playing online, you know, you'll probably see a lot of Finn Balor's and Kevin Owens. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I had a good time. I thought the game was good. I got some stuff rolling in the background that hopefully you guys can see and check that out. And honestly, I think 2K16 is going to be crazy good. So hopefully it is. You know, hopefully it comes through. I've seen a lot of good stuff, like the new CAW or CAW stuff that 2K devs been posting on Twitter, like the new face importer looks great. I really hope it's better than last year because I had a lot of trouble just making my own character. That's why I went with Captain Falcon, because I couldn't make my own character. It just didn't look good. So I went with Captain Falcon instead, which kind of worked out in its own way because Captain Falcon ended up being like super cool and people started getting on it. But you know, stuff like that, just I hope it just improves on it, because it definitely needs that improvement. So what do you guys think about all this information? You guys can tell me down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, if you did, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are not subscribed for more of that on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya!
CM Pulse is the best. Yes, he is. Click the subscribe button. Yes, you know you want to. Yes, you do. Click it today.